Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, everyone? Okay. Are you ready to start? Okay. All right. Alhamdulillah, for today we can continue our discussion. And how about yesterday? Did you do a contest? Yes. All right. So, who was the problem? Are they easy or medium or hard? All right. ATOI. Okay. All right. I think only GOI or okay, AGOI. Okay, so okay, then let's start our class. But as usual, before that, let's begin with praying together. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'an wa rizqan thayyiban wa amalan mutakabbalan. Rabbana zidna ilma warzuqna fahma. Amin. All right. So where is Hayan? Okay. All right. Okay. No problem. Maybe he can join later. So as usual, we will discuss some very hard problems, and let me share you a link for a problem. Okay, so for today, we will try to discuss some problems, and I will give you some hints if needed. And if you got an idea, you can chat. Maybe you can chat privately. So so the others cannot read your chat. So you will solve it independently, and I will give you some hints. Uh, I will give you some hints and explain something if needed. All right. So first of all, please read this problem, and you may try to think about the subtasks. Okay. And please chat plus once you have read the problems. If you finish reading the problem, then chat plus as usual. Okay. If you got the solution, please write down. Yes. Okay. Yes, you may set it privately. Okay, so Abdullah Isfaq got two subtasks. Okay. Yes. All right. Maybe Ahmad got the full solution. Okay. Can you implement the solution? Yes. And you can submit it in the widgets. Or maybe let me give you a contest, a specific contest for this. Alright, then you can submit it here. Okay, Gamas got an idea. Okay, yes, I think your idea is correct. Then just try to implement it. Yes, Dishan also got a correct idea. Okay, wait. I think I need to change the style. Okay, now it is pending. Now in widgets there are some rules, ICPC rules, IUI and NOI. Maybe in NOI, uh, we just keep submitting and then we will get the verdict after the contest ends. Okay, Hassan Arif got a solution. All right. Maybe you insert too many elements for Ahmad. Insert too many elements, so you got memory limit exceeded. Yes, I think it is memory limit exceeded because your memory is up to up to the memory limit. Okay. Yes, congratulations. All right. How about the others? How about Hayan? Did you got the solution? Okay. So actually the solution is easy, right? For each even number, we can just keep dividing by 2 until it become odd. After it become odd, then we have to 2 to the power number of times we divide by 2, right? Okay, then we can just store the value and the frequency like this, and we can greedily take from the maximum. So we can just sort this from the biggest to the smallest, and then we will keep taking the frequency until it reaches k. All right. Okay, any question about this problem? All right. And then let's continue to the second problem. Okay, just reload the page and read the second problem. Okay, yes, just try to reload the page. I already changed the language. Okay, have you finished treating the second problem? Right. Okay. Have you got the idea for the subtask? The first one is easy. Okay, yes. Might got the idea. The first one is easy since the number of seconds position is just one. So it means we can just use one position, right? For example, if we want to use this position, it means we need to move a person here to the vacant position, and then we can get a profit from this. So how many score we got, or how many profit we got if we use position I, for example. Yes, Lishan got the formula. The formula is just HI minus PI, right? Because we will got HI from the rent, but we need to pay a compensation of PI to move the person here. Alright, then we want to find the maximum of this formula. Alright, is it understood? Okay. Okay, I think Abdullah got full score. Okay, yes. Ahmed got another idea for subtask 2. Yes, that's correct. But how to check whether a range is valid or not? Okay. So for the first subtask, we just need to find the maximum HI minus PI and finish. Alright. Okay, yes. Ishan and Ahmed got an idea for the second subtask. So for the second subtask, we have two observation. The first one is if we want to use from L to R, then our score is the sum of HI minus PI from L to R, right? Okay. And what is the second observation? The second one is we have to make sure that the length of range should be less than or equal to the number of vacant position, right? That's why in the first subtask, if the vacant position is only one, so R should be equal to L. Because if we make it more than the number of vacant positions, so we cannot move them. Okay. And then how to solve this? Since n is up to 2000, then it is easy to solve it naively. All right. Is it understood? so we can solve it naively. Alright, Ahmed got another idea for subtask 3. Okay, yes, your idea is correct. Okay. Okay, is there any other idea? Yes, we can use two pointer. Okay. Okay, Ahmed got an idea, but how to find the suitable value for L? Okay, so when we increase L, yes, because you use two pointers, right? So you need to increase R and L. Okay. Okay. Is it always optimal? So Ahmad got an idea like this. We will use two pointers. Okay, before that, let's discuss the third subtask. In the third subtask, since h is always greater than or equal to p, it means this value is always non-negative. So we will always optimal if we set r minus l plus 1 is equal to the number of seconds, right? Because longer means better. Okay. Because longer means better, so we can just set like this. So it means if R is fixed, then we can fix L as well. So it is just like two pointer, but when we increase R, we also need to increase L, and so on. And we can just use prefix sum to find the sum of them. Alright. So finally, we got the solution for this using two pointers. Is it understood? Okay, yes. So Ahmed, change the idea. Okay, I think now it is correct. Okay. All right. Yes. But actually, if you got an idea and your idea is correct, just try to implement it. It is okay to implement it. No need to find the easier solution. But if you want to find, it is okay. Okay. I think Gama's idea is the same with Ahmed's previous idea. So you use 2 pointers, right? We will keep increasing R. And how about L? If the length is more than K, yes, of course, we need to increase L, right? And also if it is negative, I mean H minus B is negative, of course, it is better to move L. But otherwise, if it is positive, should we just stop here and continue to the next R? The answer is not. Sometimes there is another better position. For example, here is +3, but the next is -5. So if we move here, it will be better, right? Okay. So that's why this idea is still incorrect, because there is a corner case like this. When L is here and R is here, you think that R plus plus is better, but in fact L plus plus sometimes can be better. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Yes, that's correct. This Ishan got a correct idea. But how to find the minimum? Okay. Segment tree, alright. Yes. Using segment tree is possible. It is okay if you solve it using segment tree. But of course there is another ON solution. Alright. So then the idea is like this. Okay, yes, Ishan is correct. So we will keep moving R. And how about L? So for each R, if R is constant, then we can find the best L. How to find it? At first, we need to check K possible L, right? For example, K is the number of vacant position. And then what else? We want to find the minimum prefix sum here, right? We want to find the minimum prefix sum because the minimum means the best, right? Because we want to find pref R minus pref L, and this is constant. And if we want to maximize this, means we need to minimize this. Okay. So because we want to find the minimum, it's okay if we want to use segmentary. But there is another ON solution. So let's check Abdullah's solution. Okay, Abdullah used priority queue to find the minimum. So he used priority queue minimum, right? The value of prefix and the index, right? Prefix I and I. Okay, yes, Ahmad also got the ON solution. Okay, if you got that solution, just try to implement it. Okay. Okay, if we use priority queue, then we can store all value here, right? And we can easily find the minimum using pq.top.first. But if the maximum is the index is less than I minus the number of vacant positions, so we need to pop it. Alright, yes, that is a good solution. But your complexity is n log n, right? Since you use priority queue. So do you know how to make it ON? Okay, yes. Yes, we can use TQ. We can use TQ instead of priority queue. Do you know how to use the TQ? what shall be stored in the DQ? The idea is we want to keep the optimal index in the front. Okay. The optimal index means the top in the priority queue, right? Just like the top in the priority queue. But of course, sometimes it is expired, right? Sometimes it is expired because it is more than C. So we need to start the second best, right? Or I mean the next optimal. Okay. So we need to start the alternative solution for this. For example, the prefix is like this. The prefix for this is 3, and this is 5, and this is, okay, for example, this is 8 and then 5, and then what else? For example, this is 4, okay, or I think 7 is okay. So when this one is removed, then the next optimal is this, right? Okay. So we also need to store this. And then if this is removed, then we need to store this. This is the next alternative. So of course, the value will be increasing, because if it is decreasing, then this one is never become optimal, right? Okay. So the idea is we will keep inserting a value to the back, but before inserting value, we have to make sure that this value is greater than the back. If it is less than the back, then we need to remove the back. Just pop back. Just pop it back, because it will never become optimal. We will always use this instead of this. Alright. So just keep removing until it is greater than the back, then just insert it. So we can make sure that the value is sorted, right? The sorted or monotonic. So we can say it is monotonic TQ. So it is always sorted. So we just need to check the front. If the index of the front is still valid, still greater than or equal to I minus C, so just use this. Otherwise, we need to pop it front. Or yes, just do pop front here until we got a valid index. So it will be in the minimum. Okay, is it understood? Okay, we must got the solution. When this time limit exceeded, should we use iOS base? Okay, I think it is because your constant integer is only 2000. Okay, you can try to increase this. Okay, decisions of it using DQ. Okay, yes, you're not using it. So what happened? Okay, I think this one, wait, you could accept it on subtask 3. So even subtask 2 is time limit exceeded. I think it is here. If it is greater than k, then we will keep popping the value. How do you think? Should it be, wait, but I think if you push it here, r minus r will be 0, and 0 never greater than k. Yes, I think that cannot happen because we push like this, and r minus r will be 0. But you could accept it on the third subtask. In the third subtask means it's always increasing, or is decreasing if you make it negative. So the priority queue will store everything here, and we will pop it one by one until this equal to k. What if the case where k equal to 1, just like in the first subtask? If k is equal to 1 and this is more optimal. Okay, I think let's try to check some samples. What if the input is like this, maybe? It is 5. Yes, I think it is correct. Okay, maybe got time limit exceeded here. Okay, wait. N will be equal to 3. What happened? If we check the prefix sum, it is equal to 99 99 plus 7 and plus 99. Okay, now the priority queue is 0, 0 and R is here. So we will push minus 99, 99, 1. And for this, it is still, this is equal to 1. Okay, then we can continue R plus plus. The top is here. Okay, I see. Okay, what if we move this here? So we will swap this line. Okay, maybe this is the reason why this is time limit exceeded. Because sometimes it is like this. For example, when k equal to 1, we already pop. Wait, for example, this is R, and the only value is here. If we move R here, the top is still here. Yes, I think maybe that is the reason. The top is here, but we will pop this, right? So we will pop this value, but we should not pop that. Okay, yes. Congratulations. Alright, so that is the solution. We can use GQ. So my implementation is like this. So every time we want to push back, we need to make sure it is monotonic, right? If the prefix is greater than or equal, then just pop them. Alright, and then finally we want to get the front value, but while the distance is more than k, we need to pop. We need to pop it. Alright. Is there any question? Okay, let me review the whole solution. The whole solution is we have actually we have two conditions. We want to find the optimal LR, optimal subarray, right? And we want to maximize the sum of HI minus PI from L to R. And then we have to make sure that the length is no more than the number of vacant position. Okay. Is it understood? Okay. After that, then we will brute force the value of R. We will brute force it from 1 to n. And then for its value of R, it means we want to find the number of L such that R minus K plus 1 is less than or equal to L. And of course, L is less than or equal to R, right? So it is just like finding the range, right? Finding the range, finding some range, and we want to maximize this. How to find the sum? We can define a prefix sum. Prefix sum I means for its value from 1 to I, we want to find its I minus bi. So we can easily do this. Prefix R minus prefix L minus 1. Okay. So let's move back to this naive solution. So for each R, we want to maximize this, right? We want to maximize this, but R is fixed. So we just need to make the optimal L here. How to find the optimal L? We want to minimize this. So we can use range query just like segment tree or another data structure. Or we can also use monotonic DQ here. Okay. Any questions about this? Maybe let me add another problem. Let me change the language. Okay. Okay, let me re-explain the DQ. The idea is like this. We want to store all index from R until R minus K plus 1, right? Okay. How to do that? Oh, okay. We can just insert it one by one, right? When we increase the value of R, then we will push a new value. And then increase again, then push the new value and so on. And then what else? And then if we insert a new value, please make sure this value is better than the previous. If the value is, sorry, yes, wait, I think the last value should be better than the new value, okay? If the last value is not better than the new value, so we can just remove it. Why? Because this one is more optimal, right? Okay. If we do that, then we can make sure that this is the best and this is the worst. All right, is it understood? So every time push we push a new value, we will make sure that this value is not better than the last value. If it is better than the last value, then just remove it. So if we do this, then we can make sure that this is sorted from the best to the worst. Okay. Is it understood? Okay. And then we also need to check this one. We have to make sure that this value is greater than or equal to r minus k plus 1. And we know that the index is sorted, right? Because we always insert it one by one from the smallest index to the newest index to the biggest index. Okay. Then it means if we want to check this, we can just check from the left. If it is less than this, then we can remove it. All right. Okay. After storing this TQ, we know that the base is the leftmost, so we can just use TQ dot front. All right. Yes. So you can try to implement it. Okay. Okay. I think Ahmed finished reading the third problem. Okay. For the third problem, this is a creative problem, so you can get some partial score here. You can also solve some easy subtasks like this. I think the first three are easy, or at least the first two. Do you know how to solve the first subtask? Yes, there are only two cases, right? Either we move here or we move here. Okay. Yes, I think it is easy. How about the second one? Okay. Okay. Actually, there is a constraint like this. So is it possible? Okay, not that there is a constraint here. What does it mean? Okay. So it means if R1 C1 is equal to 1 1, so C1 C2 is either 1 2 or 2 1. It will never 2 2, because if 2 2 then we cannot solve it. Then can you solve the third subtask then? How to solve it? Okay, anyone got an idea for the third subtask? Again, R1 and RC is equal to 1 1. So what is R2 and C2? Okay. Yes. For the whole solution, okay. Yes, maybe we can divide into some cases. But actually, we can implement it in an easy way. So the code is less than 100 lines. My solution is less than 100 lines. Okay. But actually someone implemented in 400, more than 400, I think. 420 lines. But don't worry, there is another simpler solution. So my implementation is simple. It is no more than okay, only 73. Okay, I think Gamas got an idea for the third subtask. Yes, we can just go down. Okay, and then just move like this. Is it correct? This is when C2 is equal to 2. What if the finish is 2 1? Okay. Yes, we can just like transpose this, right? So we will do this, and finally we finish here. All right, so we got the solution for the first and the third subtask. How about the second one? Okay. Okay, yes, decision is correct. What if n is less than or equal to 4? It means n is either 2 or 4, right? For 2, it is easy, right? We can just do this. So how many cases? Actually, there are 8 cases, right? There are eight possibilities. And then how about when n less than or equal to 4? But the starting point can be anywhere. For example, here or here. How do you think? What if the start is here and the finish is here? How to solve this? Okay. For this case, I think we can just simply move like this, right? Okay. Or you can find a partial solution. I think it is easy to get the 70 plus points. Do you know how to do that? Any idea? Actually, there is an idea to get some partial score. For example, we always use this pattern. So if we start here and finish here, for example, we can just move like this. Just move like this. After that, just go here. Is it correct? So we will was at most 2 position, I think. At most 2 position, right? So the number of steps is n square plus 1, right? N square plus 1. So how many percent we got here? K is n square plus 1 minus n square plus 2. What is this? Okay, it is minus. Okay, wait. I think it is 3, right? N square plus 1 minus n square plus 2. It is 3. Okay, so we got this score. Log 3. Wait. Log 3 divide log 2. Okay. And then 75 power of this. I think not 75, but 0.75 plus 25, right? I mean 0.25. 88. Okay, maybe we got 88 score. 88 3 like this. Is it correct? Okay, 20. Yes, that's correct. 83. But if you got full score on this, so at least 56. Okay, 56 plus 44 times 0.83. So we can get 92 or 93. Okay. Okay, that is how to get 93%. We can just easily do this. We will move from start to this. And then if the finish is here, okay, then it is perfect. But if the finish is here, we can move here. If the finish is here, we can move here. If finish is here, we can move here. Is it correct? Okay. Is it understood? Okay. Then do you know how to make it perfect? How to get 100% here? Okay, when f is here, then yes, we can make it perfect, right? But what if f is here? Yes, just rotate. Just make it counterclockwise, right? Okay. Do you mean when f is above? Yes, if f is here, we can rotate the pattern, right? The pattern is like this. So we can do the same thing, right? Okay. So so we need to think about, is it clockwise or counterclockwise, right? And then should we rotate or not? Actually, it is just like transpose, right? I think it is easy to transpose rather than rotate. It is just like transposing this. Okay. Is it enough? Or is there any counter cases? Yes, the counter case is when it is in the edge, leftmost edges, right? Then how do you think? Yes, we can just mirror this. So the pattern become this. Okay, we can mirror this. So there are 8 cases, right? Clockwise or counterclockwise, and then transpose or not, mirror or not. Then there are 8 cases. Just like the case for n equal to 2, right? Either like this, or we will transpose it like this, or yes, or we will make it. Okay, I think it is about clockwise and counterclockwise. And sometimes we mirror like this. And then sometimes we transpose as well. And sometimes mirror and transpose. So there are 8 cases. But actually it is easy to implement. We just need to use one pattern. We need to use one pattern. Just make a pattern like this. We just need to move from XA, YA to XP, YP using this pattern. This pattern means if we are here, we go up. If we are here, we go to the right. If we are here, go to the right, go down, and then go to the left, and so on. We only need one pattern. Okay, like this. The pattern is like this. And how about the other 7 cases? Okay, and we will start the direction. For example, up is U, right is T, down is S, left is P. Then, you know, if it is vertical, then it means we need to transpose them, right? Transpose means swapping X with Y. XY become YX, right? So we'll swap XAYA and XPYP. And we also need to change the direction, right? We will swap this and swap this. Alright, finally we we solved the case for transpose and not. Okay, after we transpose this, we can assume it is always horizontal, right? Okay. Now what if it is on the edges? If it is on the edge, we need to mirror them, right? Y become n plus 1 minus y. And then don't forget to swap between left and right. Okay. After that, just run this clockwise. But you know, if the start is here and finish is here, then if it is should be counterclockwise, then the size is only 1, right? Okay, then we need to swap start and finish, and then swap the direction, and then just run it clockwise. But then we need to reverse them. Okay. Okay, this is the solution. This is how to implement them easier. No need to implement 8 cases, but we can just implement 3 conditions and 1 pattern. All right. Okay, I think this is for your homework, and I think that's all for today. Is there any question before we close our meeting? And I think you will have another contest on next Wednesday. So just wait for the contest. All right. So thank you very much for the discussion. And let's close our meeting. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.